Welcome to the first season of Convention Not, an assembly of thoughts between Mike and Ryan and our guest, who are also in pursuit of happiness and have found a little bit of success along the way. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and we hope you'll stick around for a while. You can find this on any of the major podcast networks, including Apple and Google Play. Please subscribe. I feel awkward when I run into people who know more about me because of my Instagram account than the conversations we have.
Yeah.
And that happens to me often at home when I have an open heart when I'm there. But at the same time, I'm trying to find that happiness. And, I run into people that I either went to high school with or are friends of my family. Both you and I have lived away from our hometowns for most of our lives, right?
Yeah.
People who understand and know me from pictures that they see from where I live and what I do, which I'm entirely grateful for.
Wait, how are you going to reciprocate that comment? Because you're like, shit, I don't even know where this person lives, much less, not to sound like a dick, but yeah, we are fortunate in that we probably both experienced that. I'll never forget, a couple years ago, I was back home in Detroit. We're just hanging out in the garage, drinking beers, it was the middle of winter, so it's cold as hell, but I think he had the old space heater and flat screen in the garage. I was like a pig in shit, man. I was super happy. And one of the dudes just out of nowhere, I can feel him sizing me up. I can just feel a comment is coming. And I guess it was that point in the night, but he just goes, yeah, I know we're not like diving with sharks or anything, but hopefully it's cool enough for you.
Wow.
I was at a loss. Like I've said that story a bunch of times, and everyone who knows me was like, oh, and then what did you say? Normally I would have something kind of good to say, but I was just at a loss because I wanted to be like, shit, man, I'm sorry you're in a place where you think that any of my shit has anything to do with you. I'm really content right now, and I'm content then too. But like, fuck you, man. Fuck you for projecting your thoughts of me actually onto me. It sucked though, because it like hurt. It legitimately like kind of cut, because I was just like, I didn't direct any posts or anything like that towards anyone to say, haha, look what I'm doing and you're not. But admittedly, that is what I'm sharing. It's all the cool shit I'm doing. And that's why I share it.
There are a lot of things I wish that didn't bother me as much as they do, but I think part of when I go home, and I wonder if other people feel this way, especially again, having lived most of your adult life away from home, doing what we do, I know that I'm in search of some happiness there that I think existed in my youth. And I get that when I'm with my family and we're able to be there, especially as children are added to that mix.
Yeah.
But I also find myself in those situations in which people are jealous of things that I didn't know. I end up not putting things or sharing things that I wish I were more transparent about, or was able to share some of what I'm doing on my social media feed. I try to be inspirational or thought-provoking, depending on which the feed it is.
No, I hear you. It's a funny thing, man. And I talked to a lot of people about it because we're all playing the game, right? Like I have one buddy who's not on anything, and he never has been, which I think is kind of admirable. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, you're missing out on some funny shit. There's some good memes out. I can't imagine having not experienced Instagram or any of these things these past few years. I've never done Twitter, and my Facebook is more just like I share what I share on Instagram. But yeah, man, I really love it. Nicole and I will sit around and just like scroll through our feed sometime, and it's just like, look at all these memories we've created. I mean, I selfishly, like, if people don't like it, I don't give a shit, man. Because people that do like it, that's who it's for. And if anyone else, like, get over it. Don't follow me. It's for me and my family. Fans. I ain't got no fans, but I've got some friends out there who are interested in what I'm doing.
I think that's what this long form content is about, right? Is to maybe share a little bit more of who we are. And if you are a fan of our maybe total 220 followers on the internet, in all of our social media platforms, if you are a fan of us, is to be able to consume a little more long form content about maybe not the keys to success, because we all have jobs and we all make money. But from a conversational point through the years, because we've talked this way for decades now, at least a decade and a half, about how we keep each other in check and are accountable to each other for happiness. And we pay attention to each other's lives. And that transfers into super intimate experiences to go to places that are affordable to us, right? It's affordable to you for whatever reason, regardless of income, to go snowboard in North Colorado. Yeah. It's affordable to me to hike trails in Appalachia. And those are just two very basic references, but those are both things that we do.
Yeah. That's a great segue. Yesterday, when I texted you about topics, you said happiness. And I sent you back that picture of Nicole and Whaler longboarding, because I knew you would immediately be like, man, yeah, I'm sure he is happy right now. And then the next thing I thought of was I went to a bachelor party a couple weeks ago, went out to Colorado. It was like 15, 16 of us, maybe 13, 14, I'm not sure. But I shared a couple photographs from the party. It was like a multi-day thing. And I shared a couple photographs from the party, but specifically the first day I was there, before a few of the people got there, a couple of us went snowboarding, and I shared some photographs. Of course, all the reception was, oh, you guys are having so much fun. But it's the epitome of, that's what we do, right? We just share a photograph. I'm about to get real honest. That was a long ass day. Most of it was not enjoyable. In order to get a couple of those shots, I've got like 6 layers on because it's fucking freezing. It's like a 2-hour drive to get there, and then you're on a snowmobile for like an hour because we're going into backcountry. Have you ever snowboarded?
Ski.
Yeah, it's not like fucking walking. Like, you fall a lot, and then you can't breathe, and you're tied in. Then you crash the fucking snowmobile. What I'm getting at is, all in all, a great experience. But all I do is I just share those snapshots, and we all do this. And everyone is just, you look really happy. And I always want to say, like, why the hell would I share pictures of me looking sad? But the picture, it clearly is a snapshot and never tells the whole story. And that's the real danger of the social media power and influence, is when you honestly start to be influenced, whether you want to or not, whether you're a kid or an adult, when you start to be swayed. And sometimes if I'm a little bit more vulnerable than others, I will be looking at my feed and looking at shit that other people are doing and start to feel shitty about what I'm doing. You could always drive down that street in your hometown if you wanted to see what the haves had. And now it's right there. And we can always access it all the time, every day, all day. And it's just, it's not real. It's just like anything that we've ever put on the screen for other entertainment. It's curated, and it's a perfect view I want you to perceive. But you start thinking that's real, and it can get dark. I think it has a much more negative effect on most people than an overall positive. I think it really does.
I agree. I think we're seeing some of that now, some of the studies, as well as the way that it works around kids. You and I are both part of an outlier generation. If you're familiar with Malcolm Gladwell.
I think I got that book over there.
It's typical Malcolm Gladwell, where it stacks a bunch of studies together and layers data
I know
in
his
between
stuff,
them.
But I've never read any of it.
It's good. I think that's one of the better ones. Some of the other ones are a little more touchy-feely. But I think Outlier speaks to us as a generation. I thought from the time that I read that book that our age bracket has a outlier perspective, because we are both digital and analog. We learn to type on a typewriter in some cases. Yeah. And we also had email in our high school classrooms. There's a risk specifically with Instagram of looking at things in a snippet or a picture and projecting happiness or jealousy on that picture. Because what you were saying earlier is you had a hell of a time because you're searching happiness and your success has allowed you to get to a mountain. And your friend's success and Joe has allowed you to get to the top of a mountain in which you're snowboarding down it. That's happiness for you, even though it kicks your ass.
Yeah.
That's happiness because of the experience. And I think the challenge ends up being, in a lot more times than not, is that people project that happiness onto that smile that they see, and they try to experience that from looking at it on a screen and spending hours of a day scrolling through the screen rather than spending hours a day planning to go and snowboard once every couple of years with your buddy north of Denver.
Yep.
Now, both you and I think we should be humble in that our lives are good. You live in Hawaii. I live in Atlanta. We're talking about traveling to a close friend who lives in Denver. And
yeah, I'd say
we can do those things. I think that our lives are fortunate in that way to be able to talk about our success.